So I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok at the same time. Things might struggle. I thought I'd give it a go because I'm not playing a game, I'm just doing some IRL stuff. The frame rate might be suffering a little bit. I might have to drop. Might have to drop one of these platforms. My internet's just not good enough for 3 at once. So I might have to drop TikTok, I think. Well, it might be alright actually. At the minute it seems fine. I can't preview TikTok because I have no clue what's going on there. I can see the chat though. Stream might be garbage. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just gonna paint. I thought I'd stream at the same time. Nothing else exciting is really going on. Currently painting this guy. Let me transition over. Just blocking in some base colors. The blue is actually the prime. The primer I used. It's the only primer I had, which is fine. It's a pretty good blue. The base layer will end up being this green though. Scurvy green. I'm just trying to be tactical about this because at the minute I'm grabbing it here, which is fine because it's primed and I'm not going to rub any of the paint off. But as soon as I paint that bit, I'm going to be constantly rubbing it off with my hands. So I'm trying to be tactical about where I paint. So I'm thinking I'm going to get a large amount of the bottom done, then glue it onto a base. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not an efficient painter though. I'm a very slow painter. What was I doing? I was doing something. Oh yeah, I was doing a little test on another model. The streams look okay. Let's check Twitch. Twitch is all right. Yeah. I can't bother with headphones. So I've got the music playing quietly for me. Let me know if you're hearing it back through the mic. Shouldn't be too bad. I have no idea what's going on TikTok. I can't preview that. But if anyone is there on TikTok, hello. I can see the chat in OBS. I can't see. I can't preview it. When I go on TikTok on my iPad, I cannot see my live. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on TikTok other than the chat. Yeah, I'm not sure my internet can handle TikTok as well as Twitch and YouTube. Lots of trial and error over the weekend to reduce the bitrate a little bit more. Let's see. That's okay. Hopefully OBS doesn't crash again. Oh, it might be crashing. Nope, don't think it crashed. Good. OBS is like crashed 3 times just today. Alright, well, might stop faffing and just do some painting. What was I doing? I was testing out. I don't like using washes. I pretty much avoid them wherever possible. I usually regret it whenever I do use them. So I've just painted a little bit on another model, and I'm going to put a wash on, well, an ink. To see what it looks like, because I might change my mind. I kind of got out of the phase of using washes because I just hate the glossiness for most of them. If anyone knows any, well, they're not going to be matte, but the mattest possible washes, if you know of the brands that fits that criteria, then let me know. Wish I could see TikTok data from OBS. All I can see is chat. Unless there's another window I can not have opened. Still very much trying to get used to the mindset of streaming. I used to do it regularly during the pandemic. So this weekend has involved just turning OBS on again and trying to figure things out, and you know, my old settings didn't work. My old overlay that I made no longer connects to the Twitch API because of changes. So this thing I spent months making is just broken. which is frustrating. I've got all the old artwork and stuff, like this random animation stuff. It's all like my old stuff. I've not like updated any of the branding or anything like that for my channel. I just wanted to just start streaming without stressing too much about it, to be honest. Right. So I've just got an old model. I'm saying old, yeah, one of my older models, which I kind of half primed. I did a terrible job at priming this. But this was like an older version anyway, with really terrible supports on it. Look at those support holes. Anyway, it's just a palette. Really need, speaking of palettes, I need a new one. I'm just putting everything on this wet palette. I need a dry palette. Because my current ones are just like really crusty. I want to see what this wash does to this color. It's going to be subtle, but I think I want subtle really. So that was it's a flesh wash, so it's definitely going to be subtle. Let's try sepia. Over it. Right, let those dry, see what I think. Because if they dry with a bit of a gloss, I'm just not a fan of that. I'd rather just go in with a darker colour. I'm using all my paints at the minute are Vallejo. Try and pronounce it the way you're supposed to pronounce it. Vallejo game colour, the newer version, which is more, it's not fully matte, but it's a lot more matte than satin. It's kind of like satin, between satin and matte, and I just kind of like that finish. So I'm enjoying using them so far. Pretty much got rid of all my Games Workshop Citadel paints because they were just annoying me. The logistics as well, I just like having dropper bowls. I'm wondering how I could possibly see my TikTok stats. Hello. Well, I'm glad I could see the chat at least. Silver. No, you shouldn't have corrected yourself. Ho's fine. Ho is an acceptable greeting. Hi ho. Actually, swap them around. Say hi, then say ho. Hi. Oh, hi ho, Silver. Hey, see, it works. That's how you should greet everyone, since your name's Silver. Makes sense. That's what I'm waiting on basically, is this to dry, so I can see what the effect is of. There's a flesh wash on this color. What color is this? Succubus skin. Just put a bit of a flesh wash on there, and then just for the hell of it, I put a sepia wash there, just to see if it's a subtle wash. Then that's fine. I just don't want it to look glossy and horrible, because usually I just avoid washes pretty much all the time. I always regret putting a wash on my models. Like, maybe I'll do like a recess wash, but I don't really. It'd be different if I was painting an army up, which I don't really do. But if I was doing an army and I want it to be quick, I'd probably do the classic kind of base layer, wash layer, highlight kind of process. But for my models, I tried to just keep them matte and bright where possible. But on here, I'm just debating just getting a wash in there. I might not even need it, you know. I kind of like the finish. That's as dark as I'm going. But I kind of like that fleshy color in the mouth. It's kind of like the darkest color. But I could always just like get the wash in and just go over it again and just. We'll see. We'll see when this dries what I want to do. And then, yeah, I think I want to try and get the belly done so I can then stick this onto a base, because otherwise I'm going to have to keep touching it and rubbing paint off. Fine at the minute, excuse me, because this is just the primer, but that's what I'm putting off painting this part particularly. Out of curiosity, this is the first time I've really streamed in years, but also on TikTok, and I can't preview TikTok. There's no way for me to do it, so I have no idea how this looks. So I can't even see how many people are watching TikTok. It's really frustrating. There's got to be like a control panel, maybe on the website. Let's have a look. Yeah, let me know if it looks okay, because I've literally no idea. Let's see if I can preview it somehow. Because when I go onto TikTok, I can't see that I'm live. But I did copy a URL the other day when I was testing it. Maybe that still works. Oh, I can preview it using this URL. Thing is, I'm previewing 3 streams, so I have no idea how many frames I'm dropping on it. It's probably sufficient. Maybe. It looks a bit choppy for me, actually. Yeah. Well, see, I can't even see how many people are here or not. But hello to whoever is here. Wash is still wet. I can't tell. I am like a really slow painter. I take ages painting. Which is why I get nothing done, apart from my own models. I did prime the selection of things. I got another model. This is another one of mine that I should have painted before this one, but because it's already been and gone, released it, I've decided to send it down the list of priorities. But this, I think it's probably not going to focus on that camera. It will. This is my Garuda, which yeah, I'm not going to be touching now. That's something I released in December, and I had to move on to the next thing, but I'm going to paint it eventually. I primed some cloth goblins from Statuesque Miniatures. They're pretty cute. And I've had them for about 6 months, so I thought I'd just get them primed so I couldn't stop making excuses. Just get them done. Also, there's 2 random squigs there. I don't paint a lot at the minute. But again, as another incentive, I thought I would just prime up some goblins, which are the Warhammer Underworld's Sarbag skits, I think. Anyway, I got these on eBay a while ago after they were discontinued. Because I really like goblins, and I have quite a few goblins, and I haven't painted any of them. So yeah, I thought I'd do that, try and convince myself to get on with it. I think I've got all the goblins. I don't play Warhammer Underworlds, but I have all the goblins they released, I think. I forgot what they're called. The ones with the wolves, the wolf riding ones, got those. Whatever the ones that are like knights. Is it Court of something? I don't know. Got that one as well. The new goblins are pretty cool, but I can't justify buying any more. Wash is still wet. These are the colours for this guy. All the hair you see, that's called fur hair. You see that's currently this blue colour. It will be more of a jade using these Vaheo. Is that how you say it? These colours anyway. Although I might, in the shadows, I might get some blues in there, just for a variety. The skin will be not skin, but the shorter fur. The rest of it will be closer to a white in the end. Similar to this is a snow lion, which is not a real thing, but it's present in certain cultures' mythology. So Buddhist mythology. If you Google Buddhist snow lion, then you'll get similar kind of images. You know, a white snow lion with this kind of greenish fur. So I thought I would just stick to those kind of colours really for this one. Alright, what I can do is, I was debating using a wash on this grey as well, which my instinct says to not. But I did another swatch on here actually, which I just remembered, so I can do that. I was just going to use black ink and just wash it and dilute it with medium. Probably not going to have the effect I want. Might not do the wash in its mouth, actually. I feel like I'll instantly regret it. So I might just leave it. My instinct says to just not bother with any washes whatsoever. Hello again. So I can't tell if this wash is dried fully or if it is a bit glossier than I want it to be. I just find it super annoying when you even just like a base layer and you think, oh, that's really clean, I really like the color, and then you whack a wash on it and you're just like, even if you're really neat and tidy with it, stop it pooling too much and you're just like, this looks like shiny garbage. I think, yeah, if you're doing like an army and you're just doing loads of minis and you just want to get them done quickly, then it's fine. But when I'm taking my time, it just bothers me. Seeing these like really glossy wet patches in recesses. So I might just leave that grey as it is, because I'm pretty much coming up to well, the highlights will be white, but the bulk of it end up being this grey. So there will be some contrast there. Might do another coat of the grey actually, because I can see some primer coming through. And yeah, I won't be holding the model like this by the end of it, since this is unpainted. It's fine. Actually, I do have a glove I could wear. It's the first time I've ever painted on stream, so this does feel a bit weird. Usually, I'm off camera so you can't see. Usually I'm like right back in my chair, like that. So I like to paint, because I don't like being like hunched over goblin mode, but for this, what can I do? Also, my eyesight's terrible, so I'm usually so much closer. I do like using these paints, but, and you may have seen other people talk about this, the bubbling. If you use just a bit too much water, then these end up bubbling. And then you kind of have to use the brush to kind of go through the bubbles and get rid of them, because if it dries like that, it looks like garbage. But as long as you're good with your ratios, you kind of like don't have to worry too much. But the problem is there. Don't know if it's like that in model color. But I think it's the same formula as these, right? So probably is. Don't know why the music stopped. Am I blocking the green of the main now? Don't need to bring this up to my face to do some bits because I'm really blind. I'm just doing the fiddly bits, which is why it's up to my face. Well, I'm losing some frames every now and again on YouTube and TikTok, it seems, but I don't think it's too bad. For this, anyway. If I was playing a game, it'd be different. These washes I put on a while ago are still wet. So, it's worth noting, if you use Vallejo washes, they take a while to dry. Longer than Citadel washes, I think. Much longer. Alright. So that's the darkest green beyond these parts. And his eyebrows. Okay. And these bubbles form a lot easier when you've got like a larger brush. And you can see like all the bubbles inside the hairs. So I can imagine these paints being annoying if you're not used to it. But I've gotten used to it now and I know how to like deal with it, so it's not the end of the world, but I feel like if I was a total beginner, I'd be like super annoyed. That is too watery. Also, what you can do is not run the brush around too much in the paint to cause the bubbles in the first place. Just kind of be like gentle and slow, patient with it. I've got some bubbles there, I don't know if you're going to see that. And the spiral there. So it's just something you got to be aware of, so you can kind of go back in and pop them. Pretty sure I never had this issue with Citadel paints. I didn't use the old game color, so I can't say about that. Not used Army Painter, but I've not seen anywhere online anyone talking about issues like that. I was going to, basically when I replaced my entire Citadel range, I weighed up the pros and cons, debated what I was going to get instead. And I was going to go with Army Painter, Fanatic, but the kind of slightly desaturated tones of, not all of them, some of them look okay, but generally there is a desaturated vibe because there's more white in them, I guess. That just bothers me a bit because I was really trying to go for like really colourful paint jobs on my minis, at least, that I've sculpted. So I didn't really want those muted colours. Other than that though, I really liked the, say, flexible triads, but it's not triads. What's triads but 6? Hexads, I don't know. I like the simplicity of that. I was looking at not Procreal, AK. Problem is the AK palette is just a mess, and I really needed simple. I do like to mix my own colours and stuff, but I kind of need a simple palette in front of me. Otherwise there'll just be colours I don't use. So the game colour range is quite similar to Army Painter in that there are some like clear there's some clear triads and some colours that kind of expand on that a little bit more, but generally you can kind of, you see a row, I see a row of red, and I know actually the red's quite red's a bad example, but so like this jade green I'm using, it's all very simple. So I know what I'm grabbing off the shelf, and therefore I'm going to use all the colours. Whereas my Citadel range was just, I felt like my Citadel paints was just a mass of random, I had loads, like 100 and something, and I never felt like I could get good transitions between any colours. And it's because I just like randomly bought them over the years, and they didn't seem to like layer very well, and like when I mixed colours I thought would work, they were just like a mess. It's horrible. Then you can consider the other cons, like I hate the pots, really hate them. Just like improves the whole painting experience if you just squeeze some paint onto a palette and you're done. And to like dip a brush in, get the paint out, just get it. Yeah, but AK, I was going to go with AK because of the colours and because of the finish, but the palette is just a mess. I couldn't really figure it out, so I didn't bother in the end. And I'd been told the digital palette wasn't representative of the actual colours, so I don't see how I could figure out like good triads to buy, for example. I forgot to paint the ears.
It's complicated. Don't stop fighting. I'll fight anybody. I'll fight everybody. Where the hell did you go? Fight for me, none for anyone else. Send 5 more. We can do this again. I'm leaving now. See you at the next apocalypse.
I don't think it looks so great on a camera. It looks a bit darker on this camera, a bit less saturated. But in person, I do love this green, even though it's going to be the darkest of the greens on the model. It's still a very nice green. Makes me want to paint a lot of jade things. I do actually have a I don't know if anyone knows the Mythic Americas game system. I think it's just called Mythic Earth now. It was Mythic Americas. It was a really interesting concept because I've never seen models based like fantasy models based on like Aztecs and Mayans, Native Americans, Incas as well. And I thought the Mayans are really cool. So I have some Mayan models, so there's going to be a lot of this green and the jade greens and stuff on that. I have like prepped all those models, cleaned them up. They're just ready to be primed. But I thought it'd be quite good for a like antagonists in a Frostgrave campaign, whether I'm gonna all the terrain I'm making is going to be, I do want to make some snowy stuff, but generally whether I'm playing Ghost Archipelago, struggle with that word, whether I'm playing that or not, I'd still probably theme it in like a jungle theme, like regardless of what rules I'm using. So I thought those Inca models were quite good as some antagonists in that theme. I can't remember what they're called, Frostgrave, but it's a particular like faction I had in mind. They also have a cool model which is like a I can't pronounce it. It's like Kazamatoz or something. Hang on, let's have a look. It's Mayan like death bat. Kamazots. Let's see if Google will pronounce it for me. Maybe not. Wikipedia have a... No. Anyway, it's like a death bat. So they have a model for that. It's not really expensive though. I also quite... I've had it on my list, my to-do list, making... Oh, you sent me... Did you? Oh yeah, so you did. Oh, is it really? I thought it was the other way around. That's surprising. Because I can see on YouTube it kind of gets choppy every now and again. Go back to Twitch. Twitch looks okay to me, but is it like, is it more rather than low frame rate, is it more like choppy? Like it lags a bit, but it's still like smooth. Because to me it looks right. Okay. Well. Yeah, my internet's not really good enough. I thought for like painting it would be alright. If it's like super annoying, I might drop. I've literally no idea who's on TikTok. There's no like studio setup, so I can't see what's going on TikTok. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the The death bat. I want to make my own death bat, so I'm not going to buy their model. I'm going to make my own. Not that I'm going to use it in their game anyway. I don't play games at all. I just want to sculpt a big bat thing. No, it's not. I've not even got it set to variable. I can change the bitrate on the fly. It's a pretty low bitrate. I could change the variable. Hopefully, oh, is this going to make it crash? Hopefully, it's make it crash. Let's change. God, right. I'm going to change a setting and see if it crashes. Did not crash. Change the variable. Also, I used my GPU. I did change something else. I can't remember. I'm currently using my GPU instead of my CPU, which I thought would be better. Cool. I don't know why there was such a massive delay the other day. That 10-minute delay is insane. That was just like an anomaly, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I can see the low frame rate Twitch. I might just alternate. I want to try and get TikTok in. I might just have to do like days when I do TikTok and days I don't. It's all trial and error. I don't even know what platform I want to use because there's hardly any followers on Twitch. But then 200 and something on YouTube. Have you already got Mass Effect? It was on sale for like £3, like last week or something. Hang on, didn't I give it to you? Thought I got either extra code for it. Vaguely remember that. I've actually I played the first Mass Effect on Xbox 360 to death. Well, to death. I at least did 2 full playthroughs of it. one Paragon, one Renegade, and I did enjoy it. And then I just never played the others, which didn't bother. I don't know why. Because I love the idea of taking my save into the next game and it following the story. I just thought that's going to get so complicated in the third game, having to like acknowledge story decisions from 2 games prior. But I just never played them. So when I got the remaster, I did start playing. Surprise, surprise, I've not finished it. Which means I still haven't played the second or third game. So, I mean, I will do... Will I? I will do at some point. I want to. I mean, I said the same thing about Dragon Age. I played half of Dragon Age. I played the first one to death. I loved it. Played half of Dragon Age 2, and it just annoyed me. I liked it back in Origins when it was like more tactical, and it became more and more kind of like action based. I have Inquisition on PS4. I think I got it for free, but I've not played that. And I look at Veilguard, and it looks like a pretty game. I wouldn't have chosen that art direction, but also all the dialogue I've seen is atrocious. Like, I don't care about the content of the game. I'm just talking about the quality of the writing. Just all the clips I've seen, it's terrible. So I have no desire to play it. I should finish Final Fantasy 16, and then I haven't bought. I didn't pre-order Rebirth, even though I know I will play it. Which means, if you pre-ordered it, you got like an extra summon. I just think that's such garbage. Like locking you out of a full summon, just for not pre-ordering it. I think that's fucking stupid. Well, there might have been a stupid summon. I think it was like a Moogle trio or something. I will play Rebirth. Like, I have to. Although I did... I finished Remake on PS4. I started it again on PC. I've not finished it. Actually, I never played the Yuffie DLC. Yuffie? 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 I think it's supposed to be Yuffie. Oh, hello. Annie on TikTok, of all places. On TikTok, I've only got the chat in OBS. I have no idea what it looks like. I have no idea who's there. I can't see any stats. I can monitor YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, I've no idea what's happening. Yes. I'm like, because I've only just started streaming again, and I've not done it for like 3.5 years since the pandemic. I spent the whole weekend just messing around and trying to get my settings right. And even now, I know that the frame rate's terrible, but that's because I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. I should really drop one of those platforms. But yeah, so I feel like I'm going to be streaming a lot this week to get used to it, and then I'll probably only do it once a week. So yeah. I thought I may as well, since I was sat here painting. Was it? What does it look like on TikTok? Is the frame rate really shit? Okay. I mean, my internet is not great. Also, I mean, my PC's fine. Like, I get away with playing like some modern games on it and stuff. But I did build it 9 years ago, so it definitely needs an update. But yeah, streaming to 3 platforms is probably pushing it. I just don't really know which ones to use. I used to only use well, I use YouTube and I switched to Twitch. Oh, the audio keeps going, that's good. Not that I'm saying anything particularly interesting. Nor is anything particularly interesting happening. It's the first time I painted on stream, so I have to get used to doing it like this instead of like this, which is how I usually paint. Hello. Thanks. Yeah, sometimes it's weird when you're sculpting something. Annie, have you actually any of your models? Like, which ones have you done? Out of curiosity, have you sculpted any yourself? What I was going to say is it's always weird when you're sculpting something because you have to imagine it colored in as you're sculpting it. So then when you finally come to color it in, it's kind of like, something's going to look weird. Because at this stage, I'm usually like, I'm done. I don't want to go back to the sculpt and change anything. So it's nice when you start coloring it in and you see it how you've been imagining it. It'd be a funny parody stream to hold the mini in front of your face and have the zoom on the table. My brain's not working. It'd be a funny parody stream to hold the mini in front of your face and zoom. Oh, I see. I mean, for fiddly bits, I will still be painting like, well, at least like this because I'm blind. Oh yeah, I knew you were like the designer, the brains behind it. It suddenly occurred to me. I didn't know if there were any specifically you'd done. I imagine you're already. I know you're super busy, so you probably don't have time to do any of your own, unless that's something. Maybe it's on your list to like give it a go at some point. But yeah, with the colors, with this one actually, I've not got a browser set up, but let me see. Let's find a picture, because I'm basically taking the colors from traditional, like the traditional way snow lines are kind of colored. So let me get a traditional looking image. So for this one, I did kind of know what it was going to look like. Can I actually do an image from a URL in OBS? Let's find out together. Image. New. Well, I can't paste the URL there. What about a browser? Oh, there we go. So here's like a kind of a traditional no lion. That I've just realized that's not on TikTok. Hang on. TikTok is a separate set of layers. This music's a bit too chill, I've realized. Browser.
Choose your fighter.
There we go. We're on TikTok now. So that's a kind of traditional depiction. So yeah, for this one, I did kind of have an idea of how it was going to look, which helped. I knew it was going to be very simple. But with other ones, it's kind of like that. For example, this dragon dude, who is just literally a palette, a swatch, as it was a spare model. This guy, I hadn't chosen the colors at all. In fact, my work in progress one's over here. I started painting this in September, and then it just went down the list of priorities. Don't know. So this one, I was just figuring out the colors as I went. I never knew what colors I was going to use when I sculpted this. And I sculpted this in like February last year. So I just like, I literally spent an evening throwing some stuff on it, trying to do some sort of transition on the wings, which I'm going to totally redo, especially since I've changed paints. So now I've got like some bare colors. But yeah, with this, when I was sculpting it, I had no idea what colors I was going to use. Very aware that I'm a super slow painter, and I feel like being on stream is probably make me even slower. But yeah, this is a lot less interesting than your streams, Annie, because you've always got loads to say. You plan it all out, whereas I'm just talking to the void, slowly painting. Oh, TikTok's where the real party is. I was going to ditch TikTok as well. Because I couldn't really decide where I wanted to be. Where are you, Elliot, now? Elliot, are you on YouTube? It does feel weird looking at 3 different chats. Well, I mean, I've got all the chats like fairly close. I can get rid of this picture now. Just realised I left it there. Yeah, all the chats are like here in front of me, so it's not too bad. If I was playing a game, it might be difficult to manage. What are you painting at the minute? Question was for you, Elliot, but I guess the question goes out to everyone, what they're painting. Minotaur Paladin. Really cool. Where'd you get that model from? Is that a what are the Steamforged Games ones? Something Encounter. Are they Steamforged Games? I just made that up. Okay. My 3D printer is currently out of action since the garage roof blew off. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do about that yet. Epic encounters is what I was thinking of. I just remembered. I mean, the printer's fine. Like, it didn't get wet or anything. But the roof is now exposed. Also, I had a vat. This isn't the end of the world, because I already bought 2 extra vats, because I needed to replace the FEP. But I looked at the cost of the vats with it already installed. It wasn't actually that much more expensive than just to buy that instead of just buying sheets and doing it myself. So I was like, well, I could do with an extra. It was a pack of 2, an extra vat for like transparent stuff anyway, because I've got some plans where I need transparent, and just save me having to clean it. So I bought that, but the vat I was using already had a load of resin in it, just sat in it, because I was too lazy to remove it, and that got exposed to UV when the roof flew off. So I went down there to look at it, and the cover I'd put over it had flown off, and it's just a big chunk of resin cured in the vat, which means basically I might be able to get rid of it. It's a big wedge of resin cured in the vat, basically. I might be able to clean it up, but I'm half tempted to chuck it. Although I have an old printer and it's discontinued, so I was surprised I could even buy new vats for it. So maybe I should try and save it. Popsicle resin, it was literally the full vat. About a vat about half full. So yeah, an expensive error as well. Oh well. My FDM printer is kind of annoying me a little bit, because I think there's like an error with the Z-axis in a way. Because everything I print, I have an example for this. Everything I print has the same kind of anomalies at the same layers. This might not show up on camera. Is it going to show up? Maybe not. It's hard to tell on camera, but there are some layers which are darker than others on here, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't like look too noticeable, but when it is noticeable, on say like a smaller thing than this, you can see there's a shift. So it's not just a different color, like a darker color of plastic or whatever. It's literally shifting slightly. I think I've got a better example. Yeah, I don't think it's going to show up on camera, but yeah, it's annoying. There's like some alignment issue, and I know that because it's identical, like Z-axis wise. If I have 2 different prints and I put them at the same height as they were on the build plate, I can see them. It's not the end of the world, but it's annoying. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not been an extremely successful period of printing. I printed the model I released before this. I printed that like 16 times or something insane. Constant fails. Which I think I resolved.
And visualize seeing yourself as.
Yeah, I would visualize.
This is when you were broken poor.
I mean, in the end, I know it'll print fine for other people. Because I did get I got some successful prints, but then with like the odd bit where I was like, oh, I need to change the support here. So I kept like adding some extra supports, and everything I did, it slowly got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I was like, it's got to be the FEP, because I resolved everything else I could. Lychee had an update, and Lychee is buggy as hell for me. Like, it messes up prints randomly sometimes. Like, I'll slice something and it'll just be a weird mess. Slice the file again without changing anything and it'll be fine. But I printed this model so many times, to the point where I actually cut it at the feet and combined two semi-successful ones. Other people will have better luck. Okay, well, the color looks nicer on that camera. It's only blue because I ran out of white. This is actually slightly smaller than I wanted it as well. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted it that big. I just kind of like big minis. I felt like Garuda deserved to be big. Oh, music stopped again. Yeah, it was ambitious. I tried a different slicer for this guy, because Elegoo just released their what's it called, satellite, and it's the auto support is conflicting, because the auto supports are actually, I feel like they're pretty good, better by default than Lychee. Also, you have so many more options to fine-tune their algorithm for what does it. So there's like loads of options, whereas Lychee is just like you have 6 different options or something. So that's good, but it will miss certain things. Like, for example, this gap here, it wouldn't generate auto supports in that gap. I guess maybe it was a setting, maybe some thresholds I needed to set, you know, maximum, like minimum distance between surfaces or whatever. So I had to do those manually. But manually doing supports in Elegoo Satellite is garbage. Like, I hate it so much. Maybe I haven't done it enough. I need to get used to the workflow. But Lychee's really fast, but buggy. Whereas, yeah, Satellite is so slow. I really don't like using it. But also, when you export a supported if you export a supported file from like Lychee, it'll be slightly bigger in file size than the unsupported one. If you do the same thing from Satellite, it's like more than twice the size or something. It's insane. It's practically unusable if you're doing like a large, or a model that's already a large size. Although I do need to find a, I'm got to find that balance when it comes to like how detailed a model is, because it doesn't need to be huge. People are going to be using them, like they're going to be softening it up with their settings anyway. So there's definitely occasions where I could probably reduce the polygons and reduce the size. But anyway, Satellite needs to sort that out. I don't know why it does that. But having said that, I decided the first one of these I printed. I printed a hollow version, and that printed first time fine, and there was just like a few bits I wanted to improve, and it was just through auto supports. I just kind of guessed the settings, just used my instinct. So yeah, it's promising. Also, it's free, whereas I pay for Lychee, and Lychee is buggy and annoying. So it'd be quite nice if they improved it so that I could stop paying for Lychee. I use Cura as well. With Cura, I kind of like found the settings I wanted early on, and then just like stopped bothering tweaking it anymore. Apart from when I started printing in TPU, which I love printing in. I need to find more things to print in TPU. This is my paint handle that I designed. That green one, I showed you a green one already, but that's printed in PETG. Whereas this one, the top part, got a magnet in it. This is PETG, but this is TPU, so it's squishy. It's really satisfying, and it's just a bit nicer to hold than a plastic, like a fully plastic handle. But I did discover you have to use a different material for this, because if you use a TPU for this part, it doesn't really spin very well, and there's too much friction. But yeah, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this on Patreon at some point. It's just simple. It's a simple paint handle that has like a few different orientations to kind of like, it's supposed to be universally ergonomic. So I'm going to put that on Patreon at some point. Magnet on the bottom as well. Everything I'm printing at the minute is big though, so I haven't made one for big models. Oh yeah, I had to print. Can I move this camera around? Probably won't. Well, my shelves are just to my right, but I had to reprint a load of the shelves because I swapped all my Citadel paints out. So I need to find a good use for them. I don't like throwing away like any of the PLA, PTG like failed prints, because I feel like anything like that could be a void filler in some terrain, which I've already done for some things. Just like fill in a big void, fill in a gap with just like unused bits of prints. So I have like a whole drawer just full of random crap like that.
See you at the party, Richter.
A raid? I've never ever had a raid before. Hello. Hello, raiders. Literally never happened before, and this is the first time I'm really properly streaming in 3 and a bit years. So I appreciate that. I never got raids back then either. Well, that's very kind. Thank you. Hello. I don't know who... Brush for Hire. I assume that's a relevant, related person based on the name. So, hello. Thank you. I'm just painting... thanks. I'm just painting... This is a mini I've sculpted. It's a... I'm just doing base layers at the minute. This is... Oh, it's nice to know my stream elements stuff that I set up years ago still work. Yeah, this is Snowline. It's based on Snowline from like Buddhist mythology. And it's got a bit of a goofy face. Yeah, he's going to be white, closer to white in the end, with bright kind of like jade green kind of hair. Which is like the traditional colors of this if you look at any images. I did have the image up on stream, but I've deleted it. So yeah. So what was being painted before you got here? Was it something a bit more Warhammery? This is obviously not a Warhammery thing. This is my thing. I'm also such a slow and shit painter, by the way, so don't get excited. You try to do as little Warhammer as possible. Fair enough. Nice. All right. Well, don't expect any Warhammer on here either. Well, that's a lie. Look, I do like goblins. I like goblins in all forms. I don't care what system they're from. So at some point there might be a goblin, but I'm more likely to be painting my own stuff because that's the priority. But I've never painted a bust, but I do kind of like bigger things. I'll show you. Oh, thank you. I'm a bit behind on the things I'm painting. I usually like to have my stuff painted and photographed and then I release it. But because I got delayed last month because it's 3D printer issues, I've released this, but I haven't done my own painting yet. But before that, I had this model, which is will look better on this camera, which I released in December, and again I haven't painted yet because I had a load of 3D printer issues. So it's no longer a priority, but I'm going to do it at some point. Also, just as like, I want to paint other people's things, I do. So I did prime up some cloth goblins from Statuesque Miniatures in Scotland. Ignore the squigs, they're not squigs. Don't worry about the squigs. They're not there. These are really cute. Statuesque minis. They're metal. They're so smooth, and they're all metal, one piece. Like, well, apart from the shields, not squig. Don't worry about it. They're really cool. So I'm gonna try and paint those up for fun at some point. This is also, like, I did stream a few years ago, but I was just playing games. This is the first time I've painted on stream, so I'm kind of having to get used to painting so other people can see, because usually I'm like that. It's like the opposite of goblin mode. I don't know what to call it. Like shrimpy goblin mode. If that's that, what's this?
See at the party, Richter.
Another raid. My second ever raid. And both raids have occurred within like 10 minutes of each other. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Epic Duck Studios. Oh, well, my internet's been pretty crap as well, so hopefully that's not off-putting. I think I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, and my internet can't handle it. I'm pretty sure my computer can't handle it, so the frames are pretty juddery because of that. So I'm probably going to end up dropping one of these platforms. I just thought I'd give it a go because I don't really know where I want to stream on primarily. Oh, you two were streaming together? What were you painting? I have like no idea on like who is on watching on TikTok. I have no way of like previewing that, which is kind of frustrating because I can see everything else in OBS, Twitch and YouTube. So if we don't like Warhammer, what other systems do we all like? You got to run. Well, that's fair enough. Thank you very much again for raiding. I appreciate it. And hopefully I can repay the favor when I have sufficient people in here. Thank you. And thank you to everyone else that's stuck around. I don't know who's in here at the minute, but thank you. Not that anything particularly exciting is happening. Display models all the way. That's fair enough. I mean, I don't. So I've been into tabletop games since I was quite young. I'm 38. Thank you for the follow. I'm 38 and I kind of got into Warhammer when I was like a primary school. I remember getting the second edition 40k Starbox and trying to learn the rules as like an 8-year-old or whatever. And obviously that wasn't going to happen because it was too complicated. My minis were like, I think by the time I eBayed those Space Marines, there was like 8 coats of paint. There was just blobs. So I had to strip them. But yeah, I've never played a war game. I've never played Warhammer, ever, despite collecting them over the years. Collecting, then eBaying them, collecting them again, painting them. I don't play any games. I don't have the time. I'm not opposed to it. I'd quite like to give it a go. Although having said that, I probably prefer to enjoy like skirmish, small scale things. Games that don't take 3 or 4 hours to play. I don't like the idea of being sat there for 45 minutes while someone else plays a game and moves things around and rolls a shitload of dice, and I'm just sat there doing nothing. I don't really like that idea. So I just make models for other people to use, essentially. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't have any kids. I can imagine them. Well, they're the priority, aren't they? And the thing is, especially with a game like 40k or AOS, you don't play for 2 months, and then rules have changed. Like, there's been an FAQ, something else, and then you've got to relearn it. You know that feeling where you've not played a board game in ages, and you want to play games, you get a board game out, and you have to spend 40 minutes learning the rules again. Unless it's a pretty basic board game, but you know what I mean? It kind of saps the fun out of it a little bit. Imagine doing that, but for a game which takes 4 hours to play. You've got all these different stats to learn. It's just, yeah. Doesn't sound fun to me. But I like the idea of seeing like a big goblin army all like in a row, ready to go. I don't know. Maybe I'll play it at some point. But I kind of would like a stripped back version. I think skirmish games are just the way to go. You thought about creating your own war game? I am creating a game, but it's not a fantasy skirmish game using these minis. But anyone that's like come in and doesn't know me, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that I've only been doing this since the summer, but I make kind of silly little fantasy minis. They're not all like big ones like this. The thing is, there's so many skirmish fantasy games. If I made one, I don't know where it would belong, really. But I am making a game. It's just not a fantasy game. I'll talk about that another time. Guild Ball, I've heard of that. It's just is that Blood Bowl or like I can't remember the name of the company. Someone else's version of Blood Bowl. This green doesn't cover very well. Fantasy European football. I do like the idea of Blood Bowl. Just like a game that doesn't take itself seriously. Is Guild Ball a similar kind of silly vibe? Is Guild Ball getting like refreshed? Who's the company that makes it? Because weren't they bought out by someone? And they're kind of like refreshing. Oh. I've just looked on YouTube, Elliot. What are you swearing about? Oh, that same... Oh, Steamforged Games, then. Steamforged Games, they bought out... same company. Yeah, Blood Bowl, Elliot. Oh, I didn't realise it was there. The first time I heard of Steamforged Games was probably the Dark Souls game. In fact, I just saw an interview with him. Didn't that kind of launch them? Well, not launch them, but like that was the big turning point for them when they realised they wanted to do licensed kind of games. Because they've done a few others, haven't they? They got a Horizon one. I mean, I don't really care for Horizon enough to want a board game of it, but I'm sure someone does. So I'm having to get used to painting like this, even though I'm doing fiddly bits where usually it's going to be this close to my face. Which is why I'm being so slow, because I can't see what I'm doing. Could do with another light here, actually. Not that I'm in a rush. Well, thanks for following. I loved rediscovering all my stream element stuff. I forgot I made... There's only like 3 of them, but they're all like some Arnold Schwarzenegger ones and then the Bruce Willis one. They were just silly. I couldn't think of what to make. Oh really? So what's the vibe now with it? Is it, do people take it too seriously? Because if I'm playing a game like that, if I'm playing Blood Bowl, I just want to have a laugh. I don't really care about winning. To be fair, if I was playing Warhammer, I'd be the same. I'd either be playing goblins, or if it's 40k, I'd choose orcs, and I would just do... I'd be like, I'm moving all these over towards you. That's what I'm doing. I'm literally coming at you. Not trying to be tactical. Just want to have a laugh. I feel like with competitive games, I don't know, every time I've seen a clip of people playing, it just doesn't look fun. No one ever looks happy, and I'm sure that's not true, really. I'm sure it's, the videos I've seen are of a minority of situations. But the ones I've seen, no one looks like they're having a good time. Especially when they kind of start arguing about rules. Yeah, I'm not into that. I like the idea of with Blood Bowl. I have thought about it before, but you got to go. All right, thank you very much for coming in and raiding. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's good to chat. I like the idea of building a pitch as as a piece of terrain. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I'm talking so much that my paint keeps drying. Yeah, anyone in here that's new, and if you don't mind me doing a bit of self-promotion, if you want to check out my Instagram, that'd be great, because Instagram growth is terrible. It's shocking. Kinsfolk miniatures on there, that'd be pretty cool. I seem to put a lot of my energy into Instagram for not really much gain. Although, well, no, the people I connect with on there are cool. But yeah, growth isn't great. Blue Sky's all right. We're gonna see more Hoober Goobers, King Hoober, King Goober, Hooble Goobles. I don't know. Hooble Goobles. I can't even say it myself. It's just my really childish way of saying hobgoblin. So they're I have one of them out of a box. So this is one of the early Hooble Googles. With his butt cheeks just exposed. It's just like a hobgoblin guy. I decided to call it Hooble Googles, and he is a rascal. Guess that looks better.
See you at the party, Richter.
Oh, ignore those stream elements going again because I went to a different scene. I don't know how to stop it doing that. And here's a bigger guy. I do like making these big, chunky guys. This is a Christmassy one. It's Hooble Goobles. It's just, yeah, childish way of saying hobgoblin. That probably looks terrible, actually. Probably looking on your phone on a small screen on your laptop. To get another light just here. But yeah. Hurgle Burgle. This was a Christmas one. There's all these presents. Just got his stick with tinsel for whacking people. He's stealing these presents, by the way. It's kind of some Grinch behavior going on. Anyway, he's a big Hooble Gooble. I don't know if I'm going to do any more. I kind of want to do some more traditional like goblins. What I'm doing with everything I'm making from now on is approaching it like each release is like a Warhammer Underworlds release, like a very small squad of models. Rather than doing like a horde of them or anything which isn't sustainable for me. So it's either going to be like a large, say like 5 models, or maybe like 3 mounted models, or one like larger one like this, or something like that. That's what I'm going to do. And with that, I want to experiment more, make more varied things. So I kind of want to try some more traditional kind of goblin things. Maybe I'll come back to Hooble Goobles. I don't know. I don't have an idea for them yet. But yeah, with the Hooble Goobles, I just wanted to make something that was a bit more unique. I guess with everything I've made so far, I just kind of wanted to make stuff that I've not really seen. I've got some other models out actually. I made these in November, I think. Just these kind of weird, spooky phantom giant things. Just some naked guys. Do like my exposed butts on my models. Just kind of like this spooky, smoky stuff coming out of his head. I just thought it was interesting. Some sort of phantom. Well, I do have some lore for it, but I'm not going to go into it. Here's the other one. I've clearly not sealed the base very well. Here's one, just more feminine one. Exposed butt. This is my furthest one. I like the pose. Pretty creepy. And I use, some fluorescent paint, obviously, just to give it the impression it was glowing from inside. And I've got basing material all over this. I'm just like really lazy when I finish a model. I don't varnish them. I don't seal the base. I just get lazy. I think I might stop the TikTok stream. Unless it's like, if the frames aren't too bad, if it's not dropping too bad, I'll leave it. But if Twitch is like losing a load of frames, I'll just get rid of the TikTok stream. Although, what time is it? 10 o'clock. I've not actually done a lot of painting. Oh, you managed to print this, one of the giants, on an FDM printer, didn't you? Or did I imagine that? I think I need to get another light under here. So with this guy, you were here when I got it up on stream, didn't you? That picture. We'll do it again. So for the guy I'm doing now, it's actually based on these colours from traditional depictions of snowline anyway. So this was easier because I could picture hi Josh on TikTok. So I have like 3 different chats to check. I'm just painting this model here and I'm just showing some traditional depictions of this model, which again I realized you can't see on TikTok yet. Give me a second. So yeah, for this guy, I'd already this reference for the colors, so I could easily pick what I was going to do. For the other models I've done, no. Just like, what I usually do is print off like extras. They always end up being extras I print off. Just in the process of getting the supports right and stuff. So I will usually prime a few and then just use them as swatches and just like check a load of colors until I find something that resonates. I guess with the Hooble Goobles, because the first ones I did were green, when I did the next set, because it was autumn, I thought, well, let's say their fur changes with each season. So I decided to do those kind of yellows and browns. So then for Christmas, I thought in the winter, blue, why not? Their fur's blue. So that was a bit easier to pick. But I haven't chosen the colours for Garuda yet. And the only reason it is blue is because it's the only primer I had left. Yeah, I don't know what colours I'm doing yet. I'm just gonna, when I move on to it, I'll just figure it out. I feel like there was going to be a lot of greys involved and yellows. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do her skin like a flesh color or to do a different color. Like make it look far from human. Because she's not human really. She's not quite a deity, but she's a big deal. That's what she is. I need to do another coat of this. So, is anyone playing Frostgrave? Because considering that I've never played a game of any sort of miniatures game, I do like the idea of playing Frostgrave. I want simple mechanics. I want something I don't have to relearn all the time. I want something that has kind of like a campaign vibe. I mean, there may not be big Warhammer fans here, but I mean, I still like the idea of Gorka Morka. Orcs are the exception to the rule, right? Just because you don't like Warhammer doesn't mean you can't like orcs. Because they're just stupid. They're just fun. No, Frostgrave is it's not new. There's second edition came out, I don't know, a few years ago. Can't remember. I've never played it. I have the books, well, some of the books. I feel like I kind of like the vibe of the kind of more piratey and kind of tropical vibe of the kind of like spin-off one. Ghost Archipelago. I can never pronounce it when I need to. Archipelago. Yeah, I kind of like that vibe. But you can play Frostgrave and just have a tropical aesthetic, homebrew some stuff as well. But I gather the point of Frostgrave is it's kind of like a campaign, but you upgrade your wizard. You choose a wizard. It's all about the wizard. That's your main character essentially, and then you kind of recruit other people as part of your team. But they're like expendable. I think that's the impression I get. It's not like every single model is a really cool character. I think all the characters are generic apart from the wizard and the apprentice wizard or whatever. So there's like a campaign element, skirmish games, I guess it's like a PvE thing. Similar concept to like Mordheim, I think, where you're just trying to collect the magical things, collect the magical stuff. I mean, it would also be cool to learn to play Mordheim. I think you just you don't need a GM for it. You just use tables and just I don't know how you would make decisions. I've not read the book, to be honest, so I don't know how you'd make decisions for the encounters, for enemy movement. But I think you can play. I guess you could play co-op, or competitive. I suppose you could always like designate a player to be the Oh, actually, having said that, there is one of the supplements allows you to play solo, actually. So I think it doesn't by default work as a solo game. So there must be some rules to roll for encounters and move them and stuff in a way that's organic. I don't know. I might have actually bought that supplement. I can't remember now. I think I bought it for solo play. Some of these game colors, like one coat, and they're great, but this green, it's really patchy. Actually, still like a great looking color, but yeah, it's quite patchy. Yeah, the guy that wrote Frostgrave, he's written a few different games. They're all skirmish games with different vibes. One is Silver Bayonet, which is like Napoleonic Wars era, but with some fantasy elements like werewolves and stuff like that. Pretty cool. That reminds me, actually, I remember being told about a book set in the Napoleonic Wars, but an alternate universe where they rode dragons, and I can't remember what that book's called because that sounds pretty fucking sick. Temeraire. Temeraire. Was that just... Did you literally type Napoleon... Or, no, Napoleonic Wars with Dragons and that's what came up? Is it a young adult book? Oh, my eyesight's so terrible. I can barely see it. It's so patchy. Well, I would have searched for it, but, you know, being lazy. I'll add it to my list of books. Got too many books I'm trying to read at the minute. Currently rereading Mouse. I recommend people read it. I'm not going to show it on stream for obvious reasons, if you know the book. I'm also trying to read Earthsea, which passed me by when I was young. I remember watching a TV film version of it, but I can't really remember what happened. Anyway, I'm reading that, and what I quite like is how it doesn't really... So you get some fantasy books where they take so much time to explain in depth every element of the feast they're currently eating. And you've read a whole chapter when it's still describing all these foods that don't actually sound that tasty. But it's written in a way where you're like, oh, maybe I could eat that. But no, you can't. Anyway, Earthsea is like the opposite of that, so far at least. It just cracks on with it. It's like, we're not going to describe things that don't need describing. This is a story about this person. And we'll do some world building, but you don't need to know every single little detail. And I quite like that, actually, how fast it's moving. Skyward series. Is that the books... Am I thinking of the same book? Kind of fantasy series that I read when I was a kid. The one with the like airships. Airship pirates. And stuff. Edge Chronicle, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. What's Skyward? I assume it's a fantasy of some sort. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna have to look at this in better lighting, at least. I think I need some daylight. This colour, how patchy it is. Yeah, so I want to get this, the blocks of colour done here. I'm ignoring the tail for now because I'm constantly having to touch it. Then I think I'm just going to get like the belly done. And then I want to stick it on the base so I don't have to keep touching it and I can get on with the tail. sci-fi, coming of age. Oh, so I guess that's what Earthsea is as well, coming of age. Well, not sci-fi, but coming of age. Harry Potter in space. Goes to space school, good at space school, saves space school. I'm guessing every year at space school, he has some sort of threat, and he almost dies, and the school still doesn't do anything about it. The school is somehow in charge of making policy in the galaxy, even though it's a school. Also, how long is a year in this space school? Was it a normal Earth year? I mean, what years are we talking here? And what, like, is this just a normal school? Are they learning normal things? They just happen to be in space? Or is he learning space stuff? Like, is he learning how to operate a spaceship? Is he learning quantum physics? Or is he doing DT food and cooking a cake? Baking a cake. And woodwork. Right. I think I'm probably gonna stop painting this. I was just debating whether to do a little bit of my Halo 2 Solar Legendary run, but that will take hours, so probably can't do that. I turned it on briefly yesterday when I was like testing the stream. I was testing the multi-stream just to see like how crushed the video was when I was in the middle of some action, and I ended up just going through the whole level because I thought, well, I've started now, I may as well finish. And it's the level, if you've played Halo 2, it's the level where you fight Regret, the boss fight with Regret at the end. And Solar Legendary, that is so fucking hard. It took me so long, but I did it eventually, and then I was like, oh shit, it's midnight. Remaining humans are trapped on the planet, barely any knowledge of human history before they get trapped, constantly attacked by an unknown force from outside. Quite fast pace, less than you guys buy in the first book. New space recruits are used in actual combat. So I'm guessing the children are learning a bit of child labour, and they're learning bad things, really. It sounds horrific. Repetitive use the same objectives in all the battle scenes. Battle scenes are like so difficult to like. I guess they're so difficult to write. Because I wonder. They say Scud. Scud instead of oh my god, what was it in Battlestar Galactica? Frack. Frack me! Frack off. It's actually okay. I don't mind it in Battlestar. It's good. So Smeg's great. Obviously it's in a TV show, it doesn't take itself seriously. But Smeg is a great word. Yeah, Scud doesn't sound right. Yeah, writing a battle scene in things, especially these days as a writer, when cinema is such. I mean, cinema's always been a big deal. Well, big deal, but less so maybe when Tolkien was writing. When Tolkien was writing battle scenes, I doubt he was picturing what it would look like in a film. Whereas now, I feel like a writer is probably, even if they don't mean to do it, when they're trying to write a fight scene, they're probably picturing it in a very cinematic way. And then maybe they try and write it in that way and micromanage the action a bit too much. So yeah, it must be quite difficult to do it. And write it in a way that's compelling, makes your animation do the hard work, but also isn't just boring. You know, you don't want to read details about every specific like move someone makes with a laser sword or whatever they use in this book, but you know, you want enough there to give you the ability to create it in your head instead. I'm too late for space class, Scud. My shields are down, about to die, Scud. I guess things that make sense that they would have some sort of expletive. So they gotta pick something, I guess. Spun on my axis and dodged left. Yeah, you don't. I need to reread Lord of the Rings soon, and I'm gonna. When I do, I'm going to be more conscious of how those battles are described, because it's difficult now trying to remember it when the films are so burnt into my memory. Because the films, the fight scenes felt perfect to me. That's how I imagined them, or that's how I thought I'd imagine them. So yeah, I need to reread it and see how he does it. I wouldn't be surprised actually if they're extremely minimal in terms of the moment-to-moment action. Right, if I change scenes, I think my stream elements are going to go off again. Let's find out. No. That does happen sometimes. I'm not totally sure why. Because, you know, I've got different layouts for different scenes, which I thought makes sense. That's normal. But then when I swap over, it kind of replays things that have already been played. I don't know if I'm just being an idiot or not. I'm not a big time streamer. I don't do it enough. Yeah, exactly. The films are so... Well, did you read it before you watched it? Because I read it first. So I had my own vision of what Middle-earth looked like. And I read it without seeing any of the other material. Any of like the drawings, paintings other people had done. It was all created from my head when I read Lord of the Rings. So I still kind of have that, which is pretty cool. But having said that, when I saw the films, I still thought to myself, yeah, this is pretty much what I was picturing, apart from the intricacy of their outfits or whatever. You know, I didn't imagine it to that degree. I actually think, because I was playing a lot of... In that era, I was playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I think a lot of my... a lot of my fantasy imagery that kind of inspired my imagination when I was reading the book was based on D&D, basically, or at least the Baldur's Gate games and their versions, how they present the D&D monsters and the world and stuff. So I think I kind of filled in some gaps in my head. But I'm definitely glad I read it first. Right. I might end up just getting into the habit of streaming a lot this week, just as an incentive to sit here and paint, even though I'm very slow at painting. So I might do some in the middle of the day tomorrow instead. So yeah, I might be on tomorrow, I might not. I don't know. I have no schedule. So I don't know who else is there at the minute, but anyone else that's kind of new, I've literally just started streaming again after years, and I don't have schedule. I'm using all my old assets, like this animation, that skull animation. I made that years ago. And my channel is called something else. I'm still just using all the old stuff because I don't have time to remake things, and I just wanted to get it working. So yeah, there's no schedule. There's no real plan. I just kind of want to do what I want to do. So I will be doing painting. Sometimes I will just play a game. Like maybe since I'm back on Halo 2, trying to get through it solo legendary, I might just do a bit of that. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'll definitely be more painting, stuff like that. So yeah, do what you need to do to discover when I'll do that then. Follow me, I guess, if that's all right. Thank you. Thanks for being here anyway. Thank you again, anyone that came in the raids. I really appreciate that. It's never happened before, so it was a nice surprise to have people come in. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with it, Doombox. And I think I'm going to call it there. So a second. OBS is doing weird things. My OBS is just like a mess of tabs at the minute. Alright, yeah. I just realized the same song's been playing it for ages now for some reason. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I will, yeah, maybe see you tomorrow. Maybe the day after. Anyway, catch you in a bit.